So I've been wanting to talk about this actually for a while, and I saw a post on LinkedIn earlier that made me go, okay, we're definitely talking about it. So let's just get this podcast recorded. So I got to find the post. I was actually just trying to find it because I saw it this morning. I will try to find it again on LinkedIn because I know I can go look at like stuff I've interacted with, and I'll find it, put it in the show notes because I want to make sure to credit the person who wrote it. It's another social media marketer. And she said, I've never unfollowed a brand for showing their personality. I have, however, unfollowed a brand for being too, it says something like starting to look too cookie cutter, too perfect, too like stock photo. You know what I mean? Where it's just like too bland, that sort of thing. And it's so funny because the way, like we even witnessed the other day, and actually one second though, it reminded me of something that a segment I saw on the Today Show, and this is really telling, and I'll get there in a second, but it was kind of cool because it's like, for the past week, this has just been like in my head going, we've got to talk about this on this show because it comes down to how to make better content, really good content, right? So personality. I've talked about it before on the show, especially in the product episode where I talked about products having a personality, even if it's a can of soda, or we know Wendy's Twitter can get kind of hilarious and crazy. Even products have a personality, whether it's serious, sassy, sweet, demure, right? Whatever it is. And as brands like mine and some of y'all's, right? If you're a solo entrepreneur, personality is definitely, you can't fake it. And then other brands like that we saw over the weekend with the NFL coming back and Taylor Swift arriving, it was crazy. If you're on TikTok, you probably saw it. It was really, really fascinating. And as a social media manager, I was like dying and loving it. So what happened was Taylor Swift gets out of the golf cart and the social media manager for the NFL put it up on TikTok and was like, the queen has arrived or whatever it said. And someone commented, right? Obviously, you knew it was coming. Can you guys just show some football? And this is TikTok. The game hadn't started yet. Okay. And they've been showing other TikTok, it was the first game of the season. Yeah. So there wasn't any football to show yet. So it was just kind of funny. So the social media manager responded, shoot, it was so funny, with a clip once the game started, and just replied in a comment with a new TikTok of showing part of the game. It just said, here, comma, damn. Like, so funny. Okay. Sassy, just like, here, gosh, like my job's hard enough. Like, right. As social media managers, we want to reply stuff like that all the time. Trust me. But as a social media manager, most of my clients are not. None of my clients are big, huge brands. Like, we got to be a little careful. It's the NFL. If their social media manager kind of like gets sassy with someone, they're going to be just fine. But that's the personality of the social media manager. And I love that the NFL is letting her, I think her name is actually Shannon. I found her on LinkedIn. I was cracking up. Let her do it, right? We even want big brands like the NFL on social media to have a personality. And honestly, NFL is entertainment. So it's going to be a little more in your face, et cetera. Now, if you're a law firm and you want to, there's nothing about what you do is funny, or if you are lawyers and what you do is funny, but you're naturally very funny, lean into that. And so what I want to say right away, I already know what your gears are doing right now, but for a lot of you, I'm boring. I'm not interesting. Okay. First, we're just not even going to go there. Like, don't even go there. That's not true. I follow a lot of accounts that I think people would maybe say are like, oh, that's a boring account. I also follow like really funny, wild accounts, right? If I'm looking at cooking and stuff and I want to follow an account that like talks like la la la. There's a popular TikToker that I love following, and her account is so peaceful and loving. And then I have like my wild, outlandish accounts. We don't only follow one personality. So that's what's kind of cool, because I think a lot of people are like, oh, well, maybe my personality is to blame. No, like, stop it. I know my personality is to blame for a lot of people unfollowing me. Shoot, I get the comments, right? It's okay though, because there's other people in my field that they will be more attracted to, and that's great. So with that said, you just got to be okay with it. Your personality and your brand's personality are going to attract certain people. It's going to push other people away, and that's fine. So I just want to say that with that was the Today Show segment, right? And I think the reason I wanted to focus so badly on this is because I know a lot of people are like faceless and doing all this stuff. And I'm like, you guys, like, stop it. Yes. Well, if there's accounts that have probably never showed their face, whatever, it's fine. But we are literally hardwired to respond to faces, and we are dying for connection. Okay. So if you're a faceless account, whatever, do you at least have a personality in your copy that is uncopyable? Your personality is going to take a little even more to shine through on a faceless account. So invest in learning how to write really good copy, and invest in a brand strategist. But also everyone needs to invest in a brand strategist. So before I go into the Today Show thing, let me tell you, this is the thing. when I first started showing my face on stories, I was already showing my face on stories and talking to the camera on my Instagram stories. On my personal Instagram stories. So I was used to, I could pick up a phone and talk. So I knew how I sounded to my friends and family on my personal account. Then when I started doing it on my business, I did not sound like Shannon. I was nervous. I was like, am I professional enough? And I held back. But if you know me and if you know my story, you know that I've had a camcorder in my hand since I was 8 years old. My dad's big, clunky one on my like little 8-year-old shoulders, tormenting everyone. There's literally in this podcast studio, which is, you can barely call it this because we're getting there though. There's boxes of videotapes over there that I'm getting digitized. I'm used to documenting my day. I'm used to taking people, showing them things I think are interesting. I hope they're interesting to you guys. I try to be careful on stories, not to bore you too much, but I take you guys with me on my day, and like little things come up that become part of my personality, right? When I started sharing my love of oat milk, my love of Bravo, margaritas, chips and salsa, right? Like you guys will send me memes about that stuff, or you'll be like, oh, I'm out and I saw this and made me think of you. But on top of that, that helped me build my brand, right? I just started throwing things out. It helped me understand my personality as a brand. It also helped me bond with my audience. It kept me top of mind with them, but it also gave me the freedom to actually show up as me. And that is huge for someone like me who, in my days of CNN and these sales marketing jobs that I thought were my dream jobs, I felt so out of place. I never felt comfortable to be myself, smart enough to be there in the same room with these people. I just never felt like I could be me. And what a beautiful thing it is and what a gift it is to have social media, that we get to actually make money from our personalities. What? Like, who would ever, I would have never thought. So we get to be authentic. So again, if I was trying to show up on stories as someone other than myself, you guys would feel it and hit unfollow with a quickness, or be like, Shannon, everything good in there? Knock, 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 you good in there? So with that said, be your boring self, be your sassy self, be your happy-go-lucky self, be your bulldog self, be your sarcastic, self-deprecating humor self. And if you are a corporation, what are your core values? What do you guys stand for? What are your mottos? What do you work into your business? If you look at my core values that I've worked through with brand strategists, fun, not taking yourself too seriously, all of that are part of it. That's part of my brand, but it's also part of who I am. Integrity, all that stuff too, right? Trust, blah, blah, blah. So if you want to describe yourself as fun, loud, energetic, then, don't try to show up on camera like that. It's okay. I know there are so many. If I pull up right now and start searching, I promise you there's going to be talk to the camera videos of people who are serious, boisterous, like silly, right? Gregarious. What are these words? Shannon, who are you? Like, I don't use words like this, right? But like, I'm like, SAT is like, the SAT vocab is coming out of my brain for some reason. But do you know what I mean? You'll feel it as you scroll. So I want you to know, well, I'm not here to teach you personality. I'm here to say, get on camera, or at least if you're not going to show your face a lot, when you write, work your personality in there. If you get on camera and greet us the way you greet someone you don't know, that's not going to work. I want you to greet me like we've known each other for years and we're sitting down at brunch. Do you see what I'm saying? So with the Today Show, this woman got on and said that we are in a loneliness pandemic. She like studies all this stuff. And she said how we are, again, hardwired to respond to faces, and the fact that we are on our screens so much and we're connected even after we try to shut down at the end of the day, that we're still checking our laptops, we're still checking our phones. We're looking at people like 70% less or something crazy, and like we're making less eye contact. So when we get that connection, it's really powerful and we're desperate for it and we're longing for it. So again, I know you're like, Shannon, but you just said, look people in the eyes. But yeah, again, we're longing for that in person, which again, if you haven't gotten your ticket for the day one conference, get it. It's in the show notes. I talk about the power of getting together in person. But because we are longing for an actual connection with real people, and yes, it'll still be through a screen, they're going to connect to your brand a whole lot more if they feel like they know you and know your personality or your brand's personality, et cetera. Okay. So with that said, I just want to show a couple reels that are going crazy right now, just to kind of touch on this subject real fast before we wrap up. But again, if your content doesn't look like you, feel like you, something's off, we're not going to feel it. Just like that post the girl did on LinkedIn. I was like, that is it. That is exactly it. So this girl is she has a personal brand, right? It says, and it's a funny humor, and it says, I wonder why we weren't invited to be on this show. And the TikTok is about the secret lives of Mormon wives. If you have not watched it, well, if you love trash reality TV, you're going to love it. If you've watched it, DM me. We got to talk about it. I already binged it. So good. The next clip is, because it's all the moms looking all done up, and then it's the mom looking like all moms look in the middle of the day. And she's like, oh, wait, right? You go to her bio. It says, I identify with sarcasm and humor. So again, she is someone that like for the moms who love self-deprecating humor, poking fun, they're going to love that account. She's not trying to be anyone else other than she is. Okay. And then I look at this one. Okay. Again, hers had 4,000 likes, almost 500,000 views. Right. And then this other creator, this woman is what is her account? This is Brunch with Babs. I love her bio. The internet mom, grandma you didn't know you needed. Very different energy. Both of these are accounts that I'm definitely going to go follow. I follow a lot of accounts on my personal account that are like moms, cooking, things like that. Her content is very to the heart, wholesome. She's showing you some food she baked for a neighbor, and all the comments are like, we need more Babs in our life, blah, blah, blah. Different personalities, different types of accounts I'll get two different things from. Love both. So I want to say that because look, while both of these went, I think her reels have over like 3 million, things like that. Do you know why they come through? Do you know why people love them? Because that's Bab's personality. And this is Carly's personality. When you watch her stuff, you can tell. And Carly has over 500,000 followers. Babs has 3.8 million. Holy moly. They would not have the following they had if they were trying to be anything but themselves. Even if you have a corporation with a bunch of people, what's the personality that you can bring into your copy, all your content? I know I'm going over. I know this is longer than normal, but like, I just really want to drive this home that like, you don't have to be anything but yourself. Think of me working in the corporate world of no one ever knowing anything about me because I was too shy to let my full self. I mean, they probably would have hated it because it was all very serious, all the jobs I worked at before. And like, again, what a blessing that we can be ourselves and get paid for it. And like our personality is going to bring in the right people and it's going to repel the ones that aren't going to like us. That's good. We don't want people in our lives or business who just don't vibe with us and our energies. So please promise me that you'll kind of check in with yourself. If you're really struggling with this, hire a brand strategist, a copywriter, anyone that can help bring this out. Because as a social media manager, it's funny. I had clients all the time that'd be like, Shannon, because I would leave comments as them and they go, oh my gosh, I thought I wrote that. I'm like, I know, that's your voice. That's your personality. I know my client's personality so well. You know, every time I bring on a new client as a social media manager, I don't disclose social media management anymore because I've got my clients and that's all I can handle right now. But I have them fill out a whole form. What will you comment to this photo? What would you say to someone if they said, or how would someone describe you? Like all this, because I need to know this so that I know how to be them and be their personality. So don't fake it till you make it. Just talk. Be you. And again, it's going to feel cringe. It's not going to feel great at first. It's not going to feel good until you can really, and then the second you're yourself on camera, you're going to feel so good, especially because the comments and the follows will come through. They will, I promise. I love you, friend. Talk to you next week. Mwah.